And our technology man is here. Good afternoon, Mr. Andre Monteith. How you doing, my brother?
Not bad, Vernon. How are you?
Well, not as quite as good as you, but we keep on doing what we've got to do. By the way, I see where some persons are getting a little bit excited about Mr. Musk being here in
Really?
Jamaica, and that yes, I don't know if you have followed it, that the government has signed an agreement with his satellite internet company to provide
Oh, well,
internet
you frightened me
services.
a while ago because I thought you meant he was here personally.
Well, you never can tell. Those guys will just pop in and pop out. You never can tell. He probably come in on a rocket and leave on a rocket.
Okay, yes, yes. I mean, well, his satellite internet access has been around for a while. I mean, it is gained speed out here. I actually think I use it here as a backup sometimes for my
Yes,
internet service. Starlink, I believe the name is called.
Starlink,
And
right?
right, and yeah, Starlink is a internet service which is provided through satellites.
And
So
Amazon is also in the act too, I gather.
yeah, all of the big boys are jumping in.
Mhm.
So which is why we had that big rush and jump to all of those increasing technologies are bringing back our space exploration
Yes, yes.
right. So you saw Elon Musk started jumping ahead with the whole redesign of his rockets, um, and what's the name of that other guy in airlines? He's doing travels across space with his airlines, and he's also
Oh, yes, my friend, they're in Europe.
right, right, right.
Yes,
Jeff Bezos is doing his thing also. I mean, all of the big guys are in the
yes.
industry, right? And actually, coming off of that, I was actually going to talk about the impact of 3D printing and the technologies, because you know that even in the design of the rockets of Mr.
Hmm.
Musk rockets, he 3D printed them,
Hmm.
and
Oh,
I mean in that regard, it's bringing a lot of input into the industry, like
mhm.
these 3D printers. It allows you to basically design and on key, just instead of having go through different fabricators, go through different, you're
Right.
able to just print something that you
Well,
have in
you
mind
can go
straight
into it.
up.
I just brought that up because there's a number of persons on social media were quite shocked and they don't understand that the internet is all over the world now. In the skies, we're up there. So it's greater competition for flow and Digicel. I don't know if it's more cost effective. I don't know. But
Um, cost cost effectiveness, I mean, I think they're pretty much on par with what's
really?
going on. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, and also I think it's basically based on what you want to do. We have a lot
Yes,
of
yes,
people having those Airbnbs that are in the middle of nowhere, and it's kind of hard to get the infrastructure
yes.
nowadays out to those remote locations. So
Mhm.
basically, it does have a niche application.
Right.
There are people that are on the road. You have people that are living in mobile homes around. I mean,
Yes,
that
yes.
has caught that lifestyle has caught on in the States a lot.
Mhm.
Small house living, and that is seemed to be carrying out here. You realize that we now have importing those small homes coming into the country, coming built in with all of the nice amenities. Before we used to retrofit containers, no, our Chinese compatriots. And
Yes, yes.
I'm bringing in these, voice activated windows, doors, everything.
Well, you're
Only
going to
thing
your
is that I
topic
don't, I
there.
don't, I don't see any
Mhm.
security, as in, we like our grill and thing.
Right. I've taken a bit of your time, but I had to mention that because that was a big thing on social media. So you go
Yeah,
ahead.
definitely, definitely. And right, social media basically leads us nowadays and thinking about all of the things that we might want to go into. We know we use these as cues to see what's going on in the
Mhm.
industries. 3D printing, as I was saying, has affected a lot of things in the industry. 3D printing is reshaping in the industries.
Mhm.
When we look at health, I see a professor is it Africa? He's 3D printing bones. He basically what was
Hold on,
his
hold on.
name?
3D printing what?
Bones. Well,
So the
what
dogs
he
must
did
be happy.
a couple of years ago, he did the full transplant of an ear. So they pretty much 3D printed this ear, the inner ear, and all of its
Oh,
workings and successfully transplanted. So I
really?
mean, this is just one application. I mean,
Yes, yes.
they've done prosthetics. They build limbs to the exact measurement so that you can function normally. You have
Hmm.
some of them equipped with sensors and and electronics so that I mean, if it you may I think Musk was trying to interface like these prosthetics with your brain thought. I think that's where he's going with that whole
Yes.
input into your you know facilitating the brain connecting to a computer and then being able to control other arms and all of those things.
That
Yeah,
is going to make people who are without limbs, for example, become very powerful.
very, very powerful,
Yes,
back into the working world again.
yes.
Applications such as in the dental industry, you're bioprinting organs for later on transplants, right?
Hmm.
We know about the applications in construction. You have places in Africa, UK, United States, Mexico. They are 3D printing homes. So, you have a lot of homelessness going around. So they are thinking of solutions to be able to can print homes under 24 hours and, cutting the labor. I mean, some people kind of might dislike that. I mean, with technology, there's always disruption. But I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
you're cutting the labor costs. You don't have to be hiring 10 or 4 workmen. You can pretty much sit down and watch print your whole house,
Hmm.
right? And it's
Imagine that.
right? You've seen applications in education where you're doing robotics, printing robot parts, prototyping, and helping in our STEM system programs.
Mhm.
You know,
And I
uh,
gather also that these robots, or whatever you call them, or the techniques used are that's now being used in medicine to do certain operations and play a very important role in telemedicine.
Definitely. Applications of AI interfacing
Mm.
basically being able to give you things. You've seen 3D printing in fashion. You see these new shoes coming out, actually, mostly made of rubber and those things. So they pretty much zero waste 3D print these items to,
Yes.
sneakers and those things to tailor make the shapes. They look out of this world
Hmm.
when you look at them. So, 3D printing has a lot of different applications. I mean, we need to take into fact that 3D printing is another aspect of be to learn so that we can think of applications within the Jamaican industry. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
we do a lot of art and craft out here, usually, cutting out of wood and those things. Yes, we can still have that inspirational background. We think about it, what we want to see, and then we can use these items, to build this
You know,
or prototype them.
you mentioned about art and craft, and I'd love to hear from Mr. Super Sad, who's into ceramics and so on. That should be very interesting. And the thing is that, can you imagine you can make a product and you can make a replica of it? That would be quite fascinating. There's so many things you can do. Boy,
Definitely. Or you
yes,
can even, in the car industry, you see them redesign the front of cars. You may scan it in and then you
yes,
3D print a whole new bumper or anything or any other aspects. I've seen applications where you take gears, broken gears, and sometimes it's hard to find replacement gear for some items. Applications that you can get these gears scanned and
yes,
printed and easy to repair instead of having to try to hunt them down in the States. I mean, one of the applications for 3D printers in the space industry is the fact that while in space, you don't have the time to wait on Earth to shoot up a replacement part. They could print it on site. So
really.
so things like that, using the device, these kind of devices to be able to can reshape or provide another market aspect in Jamaica is what we should be thinking about.
That's very interesting. I must tell you before you leave us that the number of things, information we get on social media, and I keep telling people that you have to be careful what you read because people do make stories,
all
of
the time.
stories, and the more they make these stories, the more these stories become grand and gripping stories which really hold you. There, for example, there's stories about Ibrahim Traore. There's the president of Namibia and others, and they keep on churning out those stories. So I'm advising people be very careful about these stories. They will
Right,
grab
right,
you.
right,
It's
right.
a form of scamming. Right.
Misinformation, you need to make sure that you double check. Even myself, when I'm doing research and trying to find new technologies out there, you have to double check, is this really, or is somebody thinking of the future? What's the
Yes.
thought process? So normally you try to double check and see, is this really a fact? I mean, you always see these things prompting up, oh, this person
Well,
died.
I'll tell you one
I heard.
story that I saw. We have to double check it. And I was extremely fascinated. Can you imagine? You park your car. A robot is like a little thing flat on the ground. It
Yeah,
drives under your car.
yeah,
It raises your car and it
yeah.
just reverses your car and it's gone with your car. So I
Right,
don't know
right.
if that is another creation of our imagination. If
Um,
it's real.
I have actually seen
Oh,
blurbs
you've
like
seen it?
I've no, as in not in real life. I mean, I've
Ah,
seen
yes,
applications,
yes.
but in the first world countries, they're designing it and putting it out there. So, in fact, I have seen an application like that. Whether it has come to fruition that a third world country can get that, there are a lot of in relation to robots because the Amazon factory behaves something like that. They are able to move the pallets by using robots that run on tracks and carry things from place to place. So that is not too far-fetched
You
an
know what that
application.
means? After a while, there'll be no need for tow trucks. Can you imagine that?
But remember, we have cars driving themselves. No.
Yes, but I'm
So
just thinking that if your car should become disabled on the road, there's no need to call a tow truck after a while. You simply get that gadget. It drives out of the car, lifts up the car, and just drives it to the garage. It's just
still a
amazing.
tow truck. You don't want to run the tow truck people them crazy. In essence, I'm thinking that it's going to a tow truck service. They should tool themselves with things like this. Probably running
Exactly.
in a metropolitan area where
Mm.
you don't have. I mean, and I also see those rugged ones. I mean, you have robots mowing a lawn now. You
Oh,
have
yes,
robots
yes,
doing
yes.
doing your doing the cleaning and moving things inside the house.
Your house
So
and so on.
these items are coming out in, I mean, China is like deploying they seem to be the ones in the forefront of it in the research, development, and execution of it. And obviously there's a race in technology going on. So I mean, it's just for us to look what is out there and then try to bring that to
Right.
our
What,
shores
what
and try
I
to
love, though, only when I have a minute left, is rather than just be consumers of the technology, we become a
if we
part of it,
could
we
create them,
produce and,
right?
and create it. That's where we need to go.
That is definitely where we need to go.
My
And I
friend, tell
mean,
us where we can find you. Time is
sure, sure. You can get in touch with me at 876-849-6167, or you can email me at intisol@techprojects.com. That's INTESOL at TECH dot PROJEX.com.
Thank you very much, my brother. You have a wonderful day. Let me tell you, these things that we talk about, we dream about it, but don't worry, in a few weeks, I didn't say months or years, they'll
Few
become
weeks.
reality. Thank you very much, Andre Monteith, the People's Technology Man. Next week, same place, same time.